Hello. So today I want to talk to you about Hand and Foot Remastered and the Action Pack. This was sent to me by Grey Dog Games, and I love when classic card games are updated, given a facelift, and given a twist. Think a la Rebel Princess. I grew up playing a lot of card games. I still enjoy playing a lot of card games, and I love when things feel fresh. So this pack will let you play with up to 4 players, and they have a version that will let you play at the full 8-player count, and you can play in teams or individuals. So in here, you will find 5 decks of cards in different colors. Of course, there is a score sheet that lays out each round. I have a laminated one because I laminate all of my score sheets. You will get this little turn direction thing for the action pack because sometimes it will change things up, but normally this is not in here, and this cardboard insert is flipped out farther so that the 5 decks fit in here perfectly. I modified mine so that this will fit in here. So let me show you how these decks work because I think it's really great. So again, I love having the score sheet spell everything out. It tells you how many points are needed for you to first lay down in each of the 4 rounds, and it has room for each of the players and to do the scores, and it makes it really easy. It breaks it down into if you got the perfect deal bonus, the going out bonus, the red threes, your book total, and your card total, and then you total up the round. So it makes it very easy instead of your random scratch of paper, where when I've played this in the past, it's like people are just like, okay, add up your score and tell me your score. And when people are newer to the game, they're like, wait, how do I add it up? How do I do it? And each deck of cards comes with a player aid that tells you the points of every card, because the cards are worth points that are not actually like their number value, and how everything works. So everyone gets one of these. So in the green deck, for example, because if you are playing a 3-player game, you play with 4 decks, a 4-player game, you play with 5 decks, and so on, which is why this box will play up to 5 players, but you can get more from their website so that it will play up to the full 8. So I like that these cards tell you exactly what they are. Here's a wild, and it's going to be worth 20 points. This 5 is coincidentally worth 5 points. This ace is going to be worth 20. And also know if you get stuck with these, they're going to be negative points. So it shows you that, which is great. You've got your different suits so that you can, or your different colors in your suits so that you know what's happening. The black 3s are negative 100, and it makes it very clear on here so you don't forget that. And your red 3s, which everybody loves, are worth 100 points. So in this game, you are making sets of numbers. So all 8s, all 9s, etc., etc. And if it's all 8s with no wild cards, that's a clean book. That's going to get you more points. If it is all 8s, but it has a wild card in it, that's a dirty book, which is going to get you fewer points. But in order to play out in this game, you must have at least 1 clean and 1 dirty book. You will start with a hand of cards and a pile off to the side. That is your foot. So once you have played your full hand, you then get to play your foot. Again, this is a classic game that I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, and you can play it individually or in teams, however you would like to do it. So this is a great core game of that if you're wanting to play it, because it spells everything out much more clearly than traditional playing cards. And these are super nice linen finish durable cards, and they have the card back, so it makes it super easy to separate it out at the end of the game with the player aid. But what makes this special is when you choose to buy the action pack. So this delivers 3 new kinds of cards into the game. So you have actions, you have attacks, and you have impacts. So what you're going to do with the impact cards, there are a bunch of them. You are going to pick 4, shuffle them up, and you will use 1 each round. So for example, this one says all 10-point cards are worth 5 points this round. So that one is going to impact people in not a great way. Another one is 8 is enough. 8 cards required to complete all books this round instead of the normal 7. So it's just going to change the dynamics of the round in a slight way. So you will play with 1 of these each round, and obviously there's a bunch, so each game will look different. Then we have our attack cards. Each one of these is different, and there is, I believe, 21. So it is recommended that you take like 4 from here and 4 from here and mix them in all the cards to start. And then as you get more familiar with them, or as you want more variation to your game, add a whole bunch more. You can totally do that. These cannot be picked up from the discard pile. That is one disclaimer on them. But you start out by just adding a few of each. And, you know, once you've played with kind of the same people a lot, if you have cards you really, really like or really, really don't, throw those in, put the ones you don't like in. And then the action cards, think of these a little bit like some of your Uno cards. So there's a skip card in there. There's a repeat card, so you get to repeat your turn, which is great. There's a U-turn, so reverse the direction of play, hence where this comes in. There is natural, use this natural wild in a clean melder book. So it's a wild card, but it can still keep my book clean. So it just adds a lot of fun and variability to a game that is a classic that a lot of people know. And so I find it really great with these types of things when you can add that variability, because a lot of times people already know the game. And so just adding in small twists is very easy to do and isn't hard to teach. So love adding in this action pack, and I love how easy these decks are to use for hand and foot. Like I said, this version will play up to 4 players because you always use one more deck than you have people. And you can get the version that will have 9 decks so that it will play up to 8 players. This is from Grey Dog Games. I think it's fantastic. I would also, like I said, recommend laminating your score sheet if you can, because then you have it forever. So I love an update on a classic game. What are some of your favorite classic games that have been updated? Give me a like and a follow, and I'll keep bringing you more board game content. Thanks. Bye.